Hello my dear student friends. Let's discuss about organization behavior, which is abbreviated as OB. Well, why do people behave the way they do? What causes different people to react differently to the same situations? Why are some organizations more successful than others even though they appear to be in the same manner? Well, all these questions will be answered very shortly. Organization behavior, the way we think, the way we work, and the way we thrive in the organization is one of the important factors what will be contributed in the field of organization behavior. Well, let's discuss what is the definition of organization behavior. Discussing about the history of organization behavior, the contribution of Industrial Revolution was a major factor which gave a relationship between the superior and the subordinate. Till then, it was a complete military autocratic leadership which was ruling. But now, we could see that the relationship between the supervisor, the superior, and the subordinate or the supervisee is very important in maintaining the human relations in producing the higher productivity. If we take the background of human relation approach, that is the Hawthorne experiments, which was conducted by Elton Mayo, was one of the important contributing factor for the development of OB. We call this to be a foundation for the part of OB in contributing the human relation approach. Well, the Hawthorne experiments or the Hawthorne studies focused on the 4 types of test which was conducted by Elton Mayo and his researchers. And the 4 main phases of the Hawthorne experiments followed the Illumination Experiment, the Relay Assembly Test Room Experiment, the Interviewing Program, the Bank Wiring Observation Room. And talking about the Illumination Experiment, yes, what do you mean by illumination? Definitely, it is light. So, this was an experiment which was conducted on light. The Illumination Experiment concluded that the light increases productivity, but the level of production was influenced by factors other than changes in the physical conditions of work. So to answer this question, they continued with the second experiment, the Relay Assembly Test Room. Yes, in the Relay Assembly Test Room experiment, attention and interest by management was one of the reasons for higher productivity. Usually, in this experiment, they introduced 13 variables like the higher pay, the rest hours, increasing in the rest hours, giving some special attention for the development of an employee, increasing in the bonus. So these were few factors which enabled the development of the employee. But after a particular span of time, they took back all the factors, leaving one of the element, that is the friendly supervision, which was producing more productivity. Yes, it was a Hawthorne experiment which was a foundation for the development of OB. Hawthorne experiments had 4 phases: the Illumination Experiment, the Relay Assembly Test Room Experiment, the Interviewing Program, the Bank Wiring Observation Room. Well, this research concluded stating that the special attention given by the managers to the employee always increases productivity. Henceforth, people realized that the human relation inside the organization is very much important in terms of organization success. Well, students, let's discuss about generally what is OB. OB, organization behavior, is a systematic study of actions and attitudes that people exhibit within organization. Yes, what do you mean by attitude? Generally, we say the person is having attitude. He or she is having attitude. That's not a right way to use it. Attitude comprises of something what an individual thinks about an event, about a situation, about a person. I think the person is an excellent person. That is my attitude towards the person's personality. I think she is an excellent girl. She is a genius girl. That is my attitude towards the person. I think the session was completely boring, and that is my attitude towards the session. So the person thoughts his feelings and his ideas towards a situation, towards a person and towards an event is attitude. Well, when we talk something about a OB, as an employee of an organization, what are my actions? How do I behave with the people? How do I behave with my manager? How do I behave with my subordinate? How do I behave with my close associate would be one of the factors which will be contributing, and the way I think will influence my behavior towards the people whom I come across. So this is what I see within organization, and that is called to be a part of OB. Coming to the part of definition, we are having one of the authors called to be Stephen P. Robbins, and he defines OB is a field of study that investigates the impact that individuals, groups and structure have on behavior within organizations for the purpose of applying such knowledge towards improving an organization's effectiveness. Well, Stephen P. Robbins covers three aspects of OB. So the first aspect is a part that he says that it investigates the impact of individuals, it is a part of a group and it is a part of a structure. So impact of individuals, impact of groups and impact of structures are called to be the elements of OB which influences the development of OB in the field of study. And he also says that it is enhancing the skill, enhancing the ability of an individual as a part of a group and as an individual as a part of a member of a group, group to group and as well as a member of an organization, which is in terms of enhancing the skill, influencing the organization's success. So that is a part of OB. We have one more definition, a famous author called to be Luthans Fred or Fred Luthans. He says the understanding, the prediction and management of human behavior in organization. Understanding the behavior of the individual. So you come across his behavior by observing the behavior inside the organization. You understand the behavior. While understanding the behavior, you just check out what would be the future behavior, and later you study how it influences in the development of management in terms of his behavior towards the organization's success. So this is one of the definitions which is given by Luthans Fred, understanding, predicting and managing the behavior of an individual inside the organization will be the part of the organization behavior. In general, OB is a systematic study of actions, as I said by Stephen P. Robbins. It is something, the attitudes that people exhibit within the organization. Well, this definition is concerned about the three aspects. So the first concern is about the psychosocial aspect, the psychological aspect, that is something in terms of the human personality, what we think, his ideas, his thoughts, his feelings, what he expresses towards the people and towards the organization systems. And the second thought is interpersonal, the way he manages to behave inside the organization within the members of the organization. It can be a part of the relationship that exhibits between him and his boss. It can be a part of relationship that exists between him and his subordinates, and it can also be a behavioral dynamics. So we know that human behavior is always dynamic in nature because human beings are completely social in nature and human beings are dynamic in nature and human beings are never static. We keep on changing each and every day. So we say there will be lot of behavioral dynamics because we have law of individual differences. What we can state that every individual and every human is completely different in this world. Thus, completely, the OB studies about what we think, what we feel, what we do in and around organizations. So here we refers to employees, we refers to managers, we refers to your colleagues. So anybody who is part and parcel of the organization is referred to the term we. For example, jobs, work, absenteeism, productivity and HR performance. So why a person work inside the organization? The way he shows, the way he behaves inside the organization. And if there is an absenteeism inside an organization, why the employee is completely absent without any prior intimation. and why there is increase in productivity. If not increase, then why it is decreasing in productivity. So all about the human resource performance will be answered inside the OB. Yes, talking about the organizational behavior perspectives, we say human behavior. Organization behavior is a part of a human behavior, and it is nothing but human behavior at work. Now, taking the perspectives, we are having two perspectives, internal perspectives and external perspectives. What do you mean by internal perspectives? So, if we take an internal perspective of an individual, it is always referring to the past experiences. It can be our thoughts, it can be our feelings, it can be something in relation with our internal experiences, what a person possesses, and based on those subjective way of thinking in terms of behaving with the people. And well, what are these external experiences what a person faces, or the external perspectives? So the factors which influences the person from outside, externally we call it. So usually generally the factors outside the person, the consequences of the behavior, and what are the environmental factors which is influencing the behavior of the individual will be studied in terms of OB. Thus OB, the organization behavior, reveals human behavior at work is quite important in terms of organization success, and behavior of an employee, whether it is positive or negative, will influence the success of the organization. If the behavior is completely positive, it leads to the success, and if the behavior of the individual inside the organization is completely negative, definitely it influences the organization's success, but not in terms of the higher productivity, but it makes the individual, the organization to fall in terms of success. Thus, justify yourself, prove yourself whether you are a person with good behavior or not. So, if you are a person with good behavior, definitely it influences the organization success, and if you are not a person with good behavior, it gives a false down to the organization. Thank you.